Okay. Mic check 1 2 1 2. I am the Y2K collector, and I'm back at you. It's still the beginning of the week. We haven't quite hit hump day yet. We're getting there. But until we do, I figured I'd stop by with another video, and this time I'm going over some of the first pickups of the fall season. Yes, fall is here, pumpkin spice, and everything that's nice in the world of video games for you to collect, depending on what you enjoy. And so for me, my whole video game collecting has slowed down a lot, primarily because I've gotten a lot of the games that I want, and I'm not just going to keep buying games to build the collection. There are a few games, a few snaggletooth, a few loose ends in terms of games that I wanted but couldn't find at the time that I was looking for them, and I've been able to pick up a few of those. Some of those you'll see here. Still holding out for some of those really high dollar, highly priced, expensive games, waiting to see if this whole slowdown will kind of knock the prices down. And that's kind of what I wanted to go into before I started to talk about some of these pickups, is the whole slowdown of the video game or the retro gaming market. For a while, it just seemed like the prices were just shooting up higher and higher and higher for all of these games. But it seems that within the last month or so, things are starting to taper off, prices are coming down, and that's good news for folks like me who are just waiting for games like Suikoden 2 and Tail Concerto and Adventures of Tronbon and Klonoa, waiting for those games to actually come back down to earth. Will those games ever come back down to earth? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you ever think that there will be a day where we'll see some of these $300 and $400 games back to at least $100? Will we ever see that happen? I'd love to know what you think. But based on what we're seeing on eBay price charting, it looks like the price for some of these games are coming down. So I guess that's a good thing, and I am happy about that because it will help and aid in picking up some of the more harder to find games. One of the other things that I'm also realizing, though, is just that everyone is aware of the value in games, and so it's going to be really, really hard, I think, going into this winter and even coming out of it and into next year. I don't know if the garage sales, the yard sales, the pawn shops, I don't know if you're going to be able to get as much value back from your collection, or rather, I don't know if you're going to be able to find games at such a cheap price, but hopefully you can. And I am officially jabbering and blabbering. So let me go ahead and stop that, and let's go ahead and get into some of these pickups that I've got here for you. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is Lost Shadow, and this is a GameCube game by Hudson. This game reminds me a lot of Eco for the PlayStation 2, kind of one of those lone survivor ominous games. Very unique game. Never played it, but saw some info on it. And I have a very, very small Wii collection. And one day I'll do a video on my Wii collection and show you every game that I have there. But this is one that I wanted to add to my Wii collection. Lost in Shadow. The next one is one that I had been eyeing for a while. This is an Atlas game. I was going to get it on the PS2, but it was kind of expensive on the PlayStation 2. So I figured the Wii would be a good place to get it. And that's going to be Baroque. Kind of an action RPG Atlas game. Great graphics. It's by Atlas, so it's going to be a quality game. I've watched some footage. I will get into this, but this is one that I wanted to have just in case, some of these Wii prices are getting a little crazy. And so before this one got out of hand, I was able to get a good copy of Baroque. So I'll be looking into that. The next game that I picked up here. I saw someone else's PlayStation 2 collection, and I saw them that they had this, and I didn't know that this was available. But this is the World Heroes Anthology, right? So this is about 4 World Heroes games all in one on the PlayStation. SNK does have some great titles. I haven't gotten into too much SNK outside of Metal Slug or like SNK versus Capcom, things like that. But this is a cool game, and it allows you to try out these 4 World Heroes games. So this is one that I wanted to add to the PlayStation 2 collection. Don't really see that too much. Now we're going to go ahead and change things up a little bit. So one thing that I added to my collection, it is a game, but it's not your typical game. And this is one for when because I'm actually going to have to get a new shelf because I did run out of space. I was pretty much fitting all of my collection on basically 2 shelves. Well, I guess 2.5 shelves, but I'm going to need to get another one. And so to kind of fill up some of that filler space, I was able to fill it up with something that I thought was actually pretty cool. And this is the Street Fighter 2 Mini Arcade Championship Edition. And I got this because out of all the boxes that were there at the store, this one was the cleanest box. I mean, there were no dents, no dings, nothing. And this is made by My Arcade. This is the microplayer retro arcade. And this is just kind of like a throwback Street Fighter, man. This takes me back. This takes me back to the barber shop. You know, used to go to the barber shop and you would see the Street Fighter 2 there and about 5 guys. And everybody's trying to use Guile for some reason. Everyone thinks Guile's awesome. But then you had that one guy that would just come in and pick like Vega and just wash everybody. Just take them all down. So this is a really cool Street Fighter Mini Arcade here. Very small, as you can see. Could fit in my hand. And that little sticker right there, you peel that off and then it actually turns on and you can start unleashing some Hadoukens in the game. And then it comes with a link cable for anyone else who has one. So if you have like a friend who also has one of these, you can fight with them with the link cable that comes with it. So I thought this was pretty cool. Added that to the collection. And then last but not least, this was one, I had this and I think I left it at a friend's house. This was when I was doing a lot of gaming over at my friend's house. And I think I left mine over there. Either that or we were just always playing his, so I felt like I didn't need one. But I went ahead and just added it, and that's the SNES Mini. Am I going to jailbreak it and add some games? I don't know. Maybe I might add some games. There are a bunch of SNES games that I do want to play. I just don't want to collect them. I just don't want to have the cartridges. I don't want to have a bunch of SNES cartridges. They're just big. They're bulky. They take up a lot of space, even if you don't have them in a box. And I just don't have the space. And I figured this was just almost a darn near perfect replica in terms of the controller. So the feel, the gameplay, it's fun. And so it does it for me. And I went ahead and picked that up. And so that does it for my first of fall pickups. Just picked up some really basic stuff, nothing too exclusive, nothing too retro, nothing too old school. These are just some practical things that I'll have in my collection. Most of these I'm going to probably start playing here within the next week, especially that SNES Mini. Really excited to get into that Star Fox game. That looks pretty cool. And then also because this has so many games here on the back, just so you can see, and I'm sure this is super old, so everyone already knows about the SNES Mini, right? We don't got to talk it to death. But man, like Super Metroid, Star Fox, Mario Kart, Mega Man X, I mean, just some really cool stuff here. So I'm really excited to break this open, and then hopefully I can get some other games, some of those really hard to find, hard to play games. I think Hagane is one of those games that I really want to play. There are a few shmups on the SNES that I want to get on here, so hopefully I can do that and not have to do too much to get it. Well, that does it for me. I'm done jabbering and blabbering. Let me know what your fall pickups have been, and also let me know what you want to see on the channel. I got a comment down below, someone asking for me to show some of the gameplay. It's something that I could do, but there's just so many videos that include gameplay. I really just kind of want to concentrate on the discussion about the game. I do it in this format because when I was growing up and we had video games, we didn't have YouTube, we didn't have streaming, we didn't have a lot of that stuff. And you pretty much just walked up to your friend and you showed them your game in your hand and you said, hey man, this game is amazing. And you told them about the game and you showed them the game, and that the excitement went from there. But I do want to start expanding on the channel, start doing some more things. And I also kind of want to expand the conversation as well, not just with video games for Y2K, but just a lot of the pop culture that was going on around the 2000s, the early 2000s. There's so many channels that concentrate on 80s nostalgia, 90s nostalgia, but we are 20 years removed from the year 2000. And so there's an entire generation that has fond nostalgic memories of the early 2000s, of that generation, of that era. And that's something that I definitely want to start talking about on the channel. But again, thanks for stopping by on a Tuesday. I am the Y2K Collector, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Take it easy.